I saw that, literally her getting tagged from behind, I was like, look, I could either kill both of these people and be in jail and be in prison for the rest of my life.
You were projected to make about 1.3 million that year.
I help people go from overlooked to overbooked. So media consulting, podcast placements, speaking engagements. Also have the academy, only best academy, over 100 members to help people out with the visibility and exposure and to monetize their brand. Those 6 years, bro, I was out here just shooting in the dark, trying to fucking figure shit out.
Yeah. Did you have any problems early on, as being a security guard? You had to fight anybody or use your martial arts skill?
And it's not about getting viral too, by the way. It's about getting visible. Those are two different things. The only time I'm gonna give up is when I'm 6 feet under in the coffin. Sometimes that when she would come to New York, I wouldn't necessarily see her. And that's when I started to really doubt myself and really kind of get in the mode of okay, I'm not really, feeling loved right now.
Welcome to another episode of the Stack and Scale podcast, where we focus on the mindset, systems, and strategies to create millions. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you find value in this interview, please share it to your friends. We have another special guest in the building. I know who he is, but for those who don't know who he is, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Marvel J. Bishop. I am a media consultant here in Miami, only the best media. For those who are great at what they do, but they're not yet known for it, I help people go from overlooked to overbooked. So media consulting, podcast placements, speaking engagements. Also have the academy, only best academy, over 100 members to help people out with the visibility and exposure and to monetize their brand. I also have a concierge company as well, kind of in the background, podcaster, influencer.
Yeah.
Boring shit.
Absolutely. We're definitely we're definitely gonna touch on that. Can we start off by going to your adolescent years? You grew up in Long Island, New York. Did you grow up in a two-parent household, or how was early life for you?
No, so I was born here in Miami, but then I was raised in New York. I moved when I was maybe 6, maybe 7 months old. My mom at the time, she was trying to get her, I think, certification, maybe like a dental assistant, but I kept on getting sick. And it got to the point where she couldn't necessarily take care of me. So my grandparents, which is her parents, would basically telling her hey, listen, they call me Michael because that's one of my middle names in New York. Michael, please take Michael to New York. Myrna, which is basically my aunt, doesn't really have kids or whatever, this and that. And I basically just started living in New York. 1 month became 3 months, 3 months became a year, and I just stayed there.
Yeah. How was that for you living in New York?
It was cool. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs, honestly, relatively middle class, not really high class, not really low class, kind of necessarily in the middle. Grew up in a predominantly white. Actually, it was really like a melting pot. Honestly, it was a Spanish, Caribbean household. It was dope. I mean, I really didn't necessarily was lacking anything. Honestly, my aunt that basically raised me. She's the reason why I'm the man I am today. Pretty much gave me everything, in her ability to basically, raise me to the man I am today. And New York was a very, very place in Long Island where I definitely learned a lot. A lot of my members from my family, they were actually got me in different boroughs, Brooklyn, Queens, New York City, and all that stuff. So honestly, I grew up everywhere.
Yeah. Middle school, high school, you were a sports guy. You were into basketball. When did you get into basketball officially?
So here's the funny part. The funny part is that my first sport was actually soccer. Okay. Yeah. So I played soccer, and I did not play football up until 9th grade, but I played basketball up until I think in 7th or 8th grade. Okay. And I was good. I wasn't necessarily great. I was actually balancing between that and also martial arts as well. Okay. So I got into the arts, and I was really just, doing those things as far as trying to keep me busy. Bro, I was a nerd. I love sports, but I was really into anime, video games, all that. So
yeah. What was your first love when it came to that sports? Was it the martial arts, or was it football? Was it basketball?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say my first love was probably I just so happened to get into soccer. So that was good. That's actually where I got my footwork at.
Yeah.
And I
Did
played
the Caribbean background play a part into that?
No, not really. I mean, my family's from Aruba and also Grenada. My family wasn't really like a sports type of family, honestly. Like my mom played volleyball back in like, Aruba, but other than that, like I was really the only person that was actually in sports.
Okay.
I actually played sports honestly because I did enjoy it, but it was just honestly because of my height and because of my size. And that's when I started growing up. Like in middle school, they're like, okay, you know what, you play soccer, but like, we gotta get into basketball now. So
How tall were you in middle school?
I don't remember. What I will say is that in high school, I actually grew 5 inches in my 11th grade. I was 6'2" at the time. I went from 6'2" to 6'7".
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you stand 6'11" now.
6'11"
right?
now. Yes.
Yeah. So you played basketball throughout high school. Did you do anything pro-wise with basketball?
No. So I played basketball in high school, and then after that, then I went to my community college. So I played for AJ Winder. He used to play for the Celtics. Okay. So I played for him for about a couple years, and then after that, I actually played semi-pro for a little bit. And then, I had a chance actually to play overseas. But to be honest with you, back then, we're talking 2007, 2008. I didn't really have like the mindset as far as like taking basketball seriously and be like, hey, listen, you can play in Lithuania, you can play over here. I mean, I could, but I didn't really care about it because I wanted to stay home. You know what I'm saying? And also like, the relationship I was in at the time, whatever, definitely played like a factor. So so if I can really do it over again right now, I would definitely take that chance because I love traveling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because you went to school did you go to college originally in New York before moving down here to go to FIU?
Yeah. So I went to Nassau Community College in Garden City. That was a community college. And then I took some time off and I went back and I finished up. And that's when I went to Miami in 2009.
Yeah, 2009. You were doing photography, freelancing at that point, correct?
In Miami.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
How was that? Why did you pick up photography?
So my best friend, Tommy Cadet, he's been in photography, I would say probably like 2004, 2003. Yeah. I graduated 2004. And he was actually the main inspiration for me to get into photography. I talked to him about it. I was like, hey, listen, like, should I get into it? He's like, yeah, definitely. So he told me the type of camera I should get. And then after that, it just kind of spawned into me doing a whole bunch of shoots for like fraternities, sororities, and FIU, and just really taking that to the next level as far as like, being a service to people like creatively, Right. I would say this too, I really, really am grateful for me learning all of these like creative trades. Yeah. Because if I didn't, I would probably be spending maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, honestly, right now. But because I have like the acumen and I have like the knowledge, I know how to have like conversations with like your photographers, videographers. I know how to like have those conversations as far as like what kind of look I need and all that. And if I want to do the content myself, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So like I definitely had an edge.
Yeah. You mentioned like kind of being a nerd. Do you just like to learn different things and different trades? Is that what played a role into you getting into all these different endeavors?
Yeah, I did. I was always like an inquisitive person. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always wanted to learn, always wanted to, like just dive into different things. I've always been like a curious person as far as like, okay, like I've always been the type of person as far as like why like are certain things happening? Like one question or one conversation I remember with my priest, my pastor in my church in New York. I remember specifically I asked him, I think I was like maybe like 8, maybe I think like around like 10 years old, I was like, where did God come from? Which is like from a 10-year-old, it's like, okay, dog, like why are you asking these type of questions? You know what I'm saying? So like, and then he gave me the answer, and even that answer did not, to this day, it really kind of like, I don't know if I would necessarily accept that answer. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So once you came down here in 2009, you were going to FIU. When did you graduated from FIU, correct? Mm-hmm. When did you get into...
did I graduate from FIU? No, I dropped out. 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you get into like the security space?
So after I dropped, after I came here in 2009, I did the whole photography video thing and everything else too, but I needed like an extra income. And also too, I really wanted to like, be my own man. I did not want to get like support from like, my aunt and also my family. I was like, you know what? Like, I got to really kind of like figure this out, like, as this person, right? As like this person who's trying to figure it out, you know, young man, 22, 23 years old. So I remember I called my aunt. She hated this shit, man. I told her, I was like, listen, like, I got to like really figure things out on my own. Like, I need you to cut me off. Now, Caribbean families, their kids doesn't necessarily cut off their family. Their family are the ones that usually cut the kids off, whatever, right, if they do some dumb stuff or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I did that. Now I need a job. I need to be able to support myself even more, right?
Yeah.
The photo and video wasn't really necessarily cutting it. So I hit up my guy by the name of Jonathan Medicall, and he was a fraternity colleague of mine, and he was working at he's one of like the top bodyguards at Live. Right. And he was like, yo, listen, I told him, I was like, listen, I need a job. I need to be able to figure this out. Like, you know, do you have a job at Live? And he's like, listen, I can't give you a job at Live, but there's a new club that's being opening called Story.
Yeah.
I need you to work. You can work there, go there. All you gotta do is just don't embarrass me. So I took that. That's one of the things I always remember. Yeah. He said, do not embarrass me, you know? And Christmas Day, I went there. And December 26th was the day that we opened. And I met Jay Pink and also Patrick Fleming, the head of security and the assistant head of security. And they literally saw me, spoke to them for maybe 5 minutes, got a job.
Yeah. Did you have any problems early on, you know, as being a security guard? You had to fight anybody or use your martial arts skills?
So I probably got into probably over 100 fights at Story.
Damn.
Yeah. 5 years, 6 years, yeah, give or take, yeah.
People fight you?
Well, they try to. But when you get liquid courage and all that shit, you know what I'm saying, things change. Yeah. You know what I mean? And yeah, probably like 100 situations of scuffles, fights, brawls. I've probably been into maybe 2 or 3 like crazy ass brawls in my life at Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say you were in the martial arts or anything. During these fights, you kicking niggas or you just doing like hooks and crosses?
Nah, I'm not kicking people. I don't think so. I definitely need a person before. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Like, I ain't fight. First of all, you 6'11". I ain't fighting a nigga who's 7 feet tall, number one.
Well, here's the thing. You're not fighting somebody who can fight, who is 7 feet tall. Because usually a lot of these tall niggas, they can't fight. They can't fight at all. But when you meet somebody who actually can fight, then it's like a little bit of a different story.
You got 2 of the things that I stay away from. Niggas who's 7 feet tall and then also a nigga who know how to use his feet. Yeah, I'm standing far away from a nigga like that, bro.
Facts. Yeah, nah, man. I ain't no Jean-Claude Van Damme, but I can definitely defend myself. But it's interesting, man. That whole career, bro, of me working at Story has really, really put me in a realm of just meeting like I'm talking about the top 1%, the top 0.0001%. A big part of my story is that I was really big at the time. I even though I lost weight, but I definitely gained weight around like 2011, and I couldn't find a jacket, like a suit jacket for me to put on. Yeah. So you needed a suit jacket to be able to be in like the main dance floor, right? Where all like, you know, the VIP tables at. I didn't have it, right? So they're like, okay, look, I'm gonna need you to be at the DJ booth where all you gotta do is just stand, because I didn't necessarily need a jacket. I just need you to stand like where like people come in and out in this, you know, kind of security area. And that was actually a blessing in disguise, because I was able to meet like everybody, the owners of Story, of Live. Right. I met like, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, Paris Hilton, Tracy Elliott Ross' grandson, Tiesto, all these major DJs. I'm talking about the high-end celebrities, you know what I'm saying? Right. And that right there actually got my foot in as far as like just having that rapport with the owners. Yeah. You know, and then after that, then, you know, I had to get a jacket because I couldn't really keep on faking the funk or whatever. And then I went to that, then I went to the dance floor, and then, you know, that was pretty much it. I was working there for about 4 or 5 years and like really, you know, build my network there.
I was going to ask you about that because you have a very extensive network, and I knew that security had to be you know, a backer for that. Did you, once you said you worked 4 or 5 years doing that, is that when you decided to do your own security company right after?
Yeah. You know, I think for me, I've always been the type of person that I've always wanted to ascend. I always wanted to just have something, you know, better for myself. So as I'm working that Story and still doing a photo and video on the side,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm working, a good job, but I want to be able to be my own boss. I want to be able to be a person that I wanted to, just be my own entrepreneur. So I wanted to take a chance on myself again. So I hit up my boss at the time. I was like, look, and then here's the funny part. The funny part is I quit twice.
Yeah.
I quit the first time, fell on my freaking face, came right back.
Yeah.
And about a year later, I was good. And then I left again.
Yeah. You mentioned back in 2008 or 2009, before we talked about this, you went through a crazy heartbreak around that time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that and how that kind of drives you and pushed you to like look for something better. That's when you started your own business right around that time, correct?
Yeah. No. I didn't start my own business at the time. No, not 2008 to 2009. Like 2014, 15 is when I started my own business. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about that heartbreak that you mentioned. How was that? And just go into that a little bit for me.
I was with this woman for about, I'll say close to maybe like 3 years. And at first it was good. She was a CEO of an IT company, and she's from the South. And one of the locations that she had was actually in New York. So one time I met her, and then after that, we just, it was a long distance relationship, right?
Yeah.
But then every single month, she would go to Long Island. That's one of the cities that she had to go because that's where her IT company, her tech company, that's where the locations were. And it was good at first, but then, it just started to falter. Less conversations. Sometimes that when she would come to New York, I wouldn't necessarily see her. And then that's when I started to really doubt myself and really kind of get in the mode of okay, I'm not really, feeling loved right now. Yeah. The one thing I've always tell people, and I think this is actually one of the driving forces, and this could actually be a bad thing or maybe even a good thing, depending on how you look at it, is that I never to this day always feel like I'm good enough. Never.
Yeah.
That stems from with me not necessarily living with my mom. Because the time when I was living with my mom, I moved to New York and I was trying to honestly wanted to live with her again, but she couldn't necessarily take care of me. But then 5 years later, she had my brother. Right. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, cool. You said you couldn't take care of me, but then all of a sudden now you have another son with another guy. So clearly something's wrong with me. So I think that's where I've always had that infinity as far as never ever being good enough. So when the relationship was kind of faltering, that's when the mindset of me not necessarily feeling good enough or being good enough started to kick in. Then I would say maybe what was it? It was late 2007 going into 2008. About 3 to maybe 4 months before the breakup or whatever, it was just completely no communication. And the times when she would tell me, one of the things that would never change is that she would always give me a key to her presidential suite. Communication stopped or just stopped the falter or whatever. Didn't really talk as much. Sex being intimate didn't really happen or whatever as much or whatever. But her giving me a key will always happen, right? So I remember one time I was like, you know what? Now remember, I'm gone. 450 pounds, clinically depressed, Zoloft, Abilify, all that stuff going crazy.
Yeah.
So I was looking at it and I was man, that really, really messed me up. But I thought I still had her, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and buy a ring. I'm gonna go and buy a ring, right?
Yeah.
So with and this is before Entrepreneur Marvel, this is before Entrepreneur Bishop, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Before anything. I'm talking about working at a messenger job, right? For shillings, literally peanuts, right? Yeah. So I literally got a bullshit friggin' ring or whatever. But the day that I got the ring was the day I actually caught her cheating on me with her ex-husband. I remember specifically, I went to I think the day before, that's right, if I can remember, this was 17 years ago. Went to over by her place, whatever, So with the suite, right? So I would get the key. Okay, cool. Now every single time when I have to go up to the suite, the security guard has to literally, like let me in, right?
Yeah.
But that one time, and I guess by his grace, by the grace of God for him, he just let me up. He's like, nah, bro, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You always here. It's all good. But bro, I probably maybe seen him maybe like 50 times, maybe, give or take.
Yeah.
But at one time, he was like, no, just go up. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I went up, got the key, because I had to get my jacket because I left it the day before at her place, at her suite.
Yeah.
And then after that, then I just saw her, and then bam.
Yeah. How did you, you talked about how you bounced back after that. I know you said you was going through some depression, but you immediately went into the self-improvement and started hitting the gym and changed your mindset.
So I had a decision when I saw that, literally her getting tagged from behind. I was like, look, I could either kill both of these people and be in jail and be in prison for the rest of my life, or I can take this, use it as confirmation, and move on and better myself. Clearly, I chose the latter. And I was also working at a gym called Powerhouse right next to my place in New York. And I just made a decision, bro. I was like, yo, I want something better for myself. I want to be able to like really just improve myself and take myself just more seriously, not lose myself, whatever. So like, bro, I'm talking about 2-3 times a day going to the gym and just rocking, clanging and banging, gym, cardio, hit, weights, strength training, anything that I can do to literally just mend the pain that I went through.
Yeah.
Because it didn't matter how much pain I went through as far as with the workout, the pain at that time was not greater than the pain of what I saw.
Yeah. I can only imagine that. How much weight did you lose in that year? About 150
About 100,
pounds?
150 pounds, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
1 year.
3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing? I know you said you would go in at like 8 a.m. and then noon. And
8 a.m., noon, and then I would actually work there too. Yeah. So like I would just literally work out during my shift.
Yeah. So at 8 a.m., what are you doing? And then at noon, what are
8
you
a.m. cardio, 12 weights, Smith machines, all that. And then at night, cardio again.
Yeah.
Like hit workouts, you know what I'm saying? Maybe 12, because when I was on shift, I couldn't really work out for like an hour. So I would just do literally like maybe 10 to 12 minutes, maybe interval training.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
High intensity. Fast forward a little bit to when you started your security business, because the security was different than Bishop's Executive Services, correct?
So the security company was actually called Bishop Executive Services, but at that time I was having my commercial security company with my business partner, or my ex-business partner at the time. Shout out to Matt. And so it was basically the same company, but it's like kind of like different departments.
Yeah. Give me, what are the differences between each one? Because I know with the concierge service, you were doing more like packages where it's, almost not round the clock, but almost round the clock coverage. And, can you give me like the breakdown of the differences between the two? So
when it comes to the concierge company, it was more sort of like private security, close protection, bodyguarding, VIP hosting as well too. With commercial security, it was more so like, okay, I had certain guards at certain like posts with like clubs, lounges, government buildings, etc. So that's kind of like the difference.
You talked about how me and you discussed how you've dealt with like some of the Saudis or people who just where money just isn't an option. Yeah. Number one, how is it guarding someone like that? And like, what are some of the logistical nightmares that you had to deal with?
So I would say so guarding them, honestly. So for me, I have about 8 to maybe 9 bodyguards that work for me for my concierge company. Yeah. At that time, I had to like outsource and hire other people because they'll come in like with groups and everything else. As far as like logistical nightmares, just making sure that this person's picked up, and then also where they got to go, and then if they want to be able to switch up, or like if they have a private jet coming in, and then I have to make sure like these cars are going to be there. And then, so it's not necessarily a logistical nightmare. It's just always about like just making sure that it's set up properly, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about communication when it comes to that. When it comes to that company, or just anything, honestly, just communication.
Yeah. How many people have you had to guard at once? You mentioned like 60 or 70, right?
Yeah, I've had like 2 jobs before. I had a family, so I'll say maybe 50 or 60. Yeah.
How was that I know you said you have to outsource it to other people.
Yes.
Describe to us, how do you complete that and make sure everyone's safe and, you're rendering a great service to these people?
Man, it's been a while since I actually talked about this. So, like I said, so we'll have like different group chats of like WhatsApp groups, and then we'll have, let's just say, me and also my director of security, and then all the other bodyguards in one, and then the point of contact for that particular group.
Yeah.
And then after that, then it's always about like having communication and correspondence between then. Also, big thing is a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of guards will actually have to sleep at the establishments because if they want to go out or they want to go to the grocery store, gotta go to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's always just about being readily available.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the type of permits, et cetera, you have to have for these bodyguards, because some of them carry, conceal, et cetera.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit
So if I can remember, because I don't even do this no more, but it's cool. It's good a conversation because it gives people more insight. So if people want to have a commercial security company for people to work underneath them, they have to have a B license. So a B license is basically just a license for you to be able to have people work underneath you.
Right.
Obviously, you have to have an LLC and all that. Next one you got to have is for yourself individually is your security license, which is your oh my God, not B license, D license. There we go. So after that, you have to have your D license. Then if you want to have your gun license, you have to have your G, and after that, you have to have your concealed.
Right. Now, we're getting some of these licenses. Is it something, a certification that you have to study for, or do you just apply for it?
Yeah, no. You have to. So there is for your D license, you have to do like a 40-hour class.
Okay.
And I think for your G license, it has to be like a 20-hour intensive class for you to do that. Right. Now for your B license, you have to have I think you have to have an LLC for at least 2 years. And also you have to have an insurance policy of at least $350,000 or more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when the concierge services is a service where your first year you started to like really make a breakthrough where you made like the $150K the first year.
Yeah. Well, no. Like I said, that was the commercial security company.
That was the commercial security company.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first year you did pretty good, 150K in revenue. Second year, I think I seen you did like 350. Third year, 650. So in 2 years, you basically went from 150 to 650. But then tragedy struck when
tragedy ain't the word, bro.
When COVID came through and just absolutely destroyed everything. I seen that you were projected to make about 1.3 million that year and only end up making 50. How was that for you? Obviously you have all these people that you have to take care of who have families as well. How did you manage that?
Man, bruh. So for me, it was the second time that I actually got depressed and also was suicidal. Yeah. Because I was like, bruh, like I think I'm doing well. And then bam, here we go again. It's kind of like the friggin' the GTA San Andreas thing. Oh shit, here we go again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bruh, like I'm I'm doing well and I just lose everything. Lose literally like 20, 25 contracts. I got to get the PPP loan to freaking pay people and all that stuff. Yeah. Honestly, just by the grace of God and just really just having the mental fortitude onto focusing on other stuff.
Yeah. At that point, was that when you developed I know you don't have a shirt on your back, but I have one on mine. I'm going to give you my shirt. Is that where that came from?
No, literally, yeah. Because at that time, it was very, very hard for me to really look at people who worked for me and didn't really necessarily didn't know what like the next paycheck was coming through. So I was like, you know what? Let me just take care of them and just move forward, bro. And and then once I can just focus on myself and not focus on anybody else, then I'm cool. I'm cool with not having a shirt. I'm good. As long as you have a shirt, now I ain't got to worry about you. Now I only got to worry about me, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because once that tragedy struck in 2020, is that when you pivoted over to the personal branding and more of the content, you know?
Yeah, because at that time, I was doing a whole bunch of actually interviews like during the pandemic and just having conversations with people, like as far as like how it affected them and all that. And I was like, you know what? Cool. I started to really focus on the concierge and also with my content as well. And just really try to like, expand my concierge company.
Were these interviews on Zoom or these were in person?
These were no, they were Zoom. It was during COVID, so it was definitely Zoom.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you were still in Miami at that point, right? Mm-hmm. I know Miami was one of the rare places, and because I was living in Homestead around.
Oh no. Miami was the Wild Wild West, bro.
yo, listen.
People was outside. It didn't even matter, bro.
It was.
No facts.
I was living here because I was in Homestead most of 2020 because I moved to Homestead in January of 2020. It hit for real in like March of 2020. And then I had left for a little bit, came back in 2021. I was up in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. But a lot of shit was open. You just couldn't sit down and eat. But people were outside. Like people were hanging out. People were still going out and everything.
So you went to Fort Lauderdale too? Like you were living in Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah. So I used to travel for work. So I worked as a sterile processing technician. So I would travel around the country. Like I said, I worked in Homestead Hospital. I came down and I was working at Broward Hospital. In downtown Fort Lauderdale for most of 2021, excuse me.
Question, by the way, a client actually just hit me up just now. He's in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. You don't even like any seafood spots you could go to?
Yeah, I would have to look some up. It's been so long.
Like, just give me a name.
What's the college is good. He might not like this place, but I like it.
What?
It's like Bubba Shrimp.
Oh, Bubba Shrimp. And is it Las Olas?
No, it's on the water though. It's right by the beach.
Bubba Shrimp.
Yeah, Bubba Shrimp.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now Bubba Shrimp is pretty good. I liked it there. I took a young lady on a date there one time. It was fire.
It was fire?
Yeah. I liked it. I actually liked it. Again, that was 2021.
Yeah.
We sat down and ate.
Yeah.
And it's like right there, like right, you're literally looking at the water for the most part. And matter of fact, when we was out there that day, it was during football season.
Okay.
We seen the Patriots.
Yeah.
They were coming through on their in their buses or whatever. But yeah, it was good. But yeah, 2021 was, again, during COVID was crazy down here. So when you made that pivot, what was your mindset of, obviously, you have to make a living and stuff. How was your mindset at that point? And because, obviously I know you come from that New York pedigree where it's like, it's always a new hustle, you're going to figure out.
You got to figure it out. Yeah. You got no choice.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So what clicked or what did you implement to say, you know what, I'm going to do this and this is going to work for me and I'm going to generate revenue? How were you trying to generate revenue?
So it was a concierge for me because I was just focusing on that. I was already scarred with the commercial security. I was like, bro, I'm done with this shit. I ain't doing this shit no more. People have been telling me to like, yo, you should come out with like, the security company. I'm like, yo, I don't want to do it because I've been through so much with that. I just don't want to go through it again. It was just honestly just focusing on my concierge and also my podcast at the time. I was doing photo and video here and there, but it was definitely the concierge. But now I'll tell you this, what really changed everything for me is I met this guy by the name of Brennan Boyd. Brennan Boyd is my mentor. Shout out to him. He basically told me, he was like, hey, he's been working with me and like mentoring me for like literally 2 years, even before I even like signed up for his mentorship. He was like, yo, you got the concierge, great, but you're great at content. You're great at teaching. Why don't you just focus on the media? Like, this is something that you can literally expand and also scale, stack and scale. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the concierge is great, but there's really a threshold that you can really only do. When I realized, I was like, you know what? I do want to build something that's going to be amazing, multi-millionaire, maybe in a $1 billion company. I spoke to one of my mentors, Jory Firestone. He owns Built. You know the drink Built?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he owns it, right?
Yeah.
And he had one of the most successful luxury concierge companies like in the United States. And he told me that the reason why he stopped the concierge because there was a threshold where no matter how many people he hired, no matter how many people that he put on, he couldn't get past the $17 million mark, no matter what he did.
Yeah.
So I looked at it. I was like, okay, like I did good for the concierge, not really 17 million, but not yet. But I was like, you know what? I needed something to be able to have more of a threshold. So that's when I met Brendan Boyd. He told me, he was like, yo, listen, you got to really dial in on this media shit. Like, this is where it's at. So just me doing podcast tours, media consulting, having my academy as well too. And then also meeting one of my business partners, Focus Boyd. They're not related.
Yeah.
And because he was the one that really saw the potential in me as far as being able to monetize off of my brand.
Yeah.
So after that, I met him at Podcast Summit, actually, I think 2022. And he just saw something, both of them saw something in me that they can really, really kind of expand and also take to the next level.
Yeah.
And yeah, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. You think they saw like your consistency, your hunger?
Yeah. I would say this, especially Focus has saw me give so much to the game as far as like just free value, free content, just free game, free knowledge, to the point like he really wanted me to be put in position to be able to monetize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as the media side of it, what do you look for when you're looking for someone that you can, mentor? And you see, like, even with me, myself, what do you look for in certain people to say, you know what, I see what you have, and, what's your motto? Go from overlooked to overbooked.
Yeah. So
what do you look for? What are those characteristics?
The characteristics is definitely grit. It's definitely relentlessness as well. Just somebody that has like the mindset as far as like actually like going through the gauntlet as far as like with entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That just has that mindset to just be able to be teachable as well.
Yeah.
I used to start with people who didn't have a brand or didn't have an idea and help them create and also build their brand. I don't do that. That shit is the most frustrating shit in the world because, you got to get people who are already starting. And I've always said this, people are just like gravity. All they need is a little push.
Yeah.
So that's why I came up with, people who are great at what they do, but not yet known for it. Once I know that what you're great at, all I got to do is literally to give you the systems to be able to actually get known and get visible. And it's not about getting viral too, by the way. It's about getting visible. Those are two different things.
Just describe the difference.
So viral is just about chasing trends, top of funnel content to the point where it's not necessarily like relatable to your niche or your brand, or it's just like you're just doing it just for the clout and just get the views.
Yeah. And
that can really that can actually not translate into dollars, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also too, say for instance, right? If you come up here, right, and you do like a TikTok dance, right, you probably maybe get like 10, maybe 15 million views, but they're probably not gonna, they're gonna come through, but they're probably not gonna stay because they're not gonna stay here for your podcast or for your brand.
Yeah.
They want you to see more TikTok dances.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to getting more visible, it's like, okay, you dial in and do content that's actually pertaining to you, to your brand and what you want to be known for. Right. And what your perspective is. What is your experience? What is your mindset?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's when people see that and they actually stay.
Right. So with that visibility, you would say that value that people gain is more important because like you said, you can have a quick viral moment, but if there's actual value and then you get that exposure, you get that visibility.
You get people, in fact, you get people to come, but like, are they staying? And why should they stay?
Right.
That's the game.
With your podcast, how were you able to monetize? Like what system did you implement to be able to monetize? Did you monetize quickly?
So, no. I mean, I've had my podcast for over 8 years and I wasn't able to monetize because I didn't necessarily understand it. So quick question before I continue. When is this podcast coming out?
Couple weeks.
Okay. So, okay. Now I'm changing my name. I'm changing my podcast name. Okay. So I was going to name it, what I'm going to call it was going to be called Only the Best Podcast. But at that time, it's still going to be called Convos with Bishop. I'm not naming it until like a month and a half from now. So I just want to know. Okay. All right. What was the question?
How were you able to monetize?
Okay. Yeah. So with the podcast, right? And this is what I learned from my boy, Brendan Boyd. There are 95% of podcasters, they quit after the 5th episode. Why? Mostly because of not being consistent. But the reason why they're not being consistent is because they're not necessarily monetizing. So I've learned from him, which is basically the foundational 5, you can call it, right? Okay. So first one is business funding. create an LLC for your podcast to be able to get business funding. That's number one. Number two, there's something that's called the VIP package. So the VIP package is basically a way for you to basically bundle and also create a value set of your content to be able to give to your audience, or I'm sorry, to give to your guest.
Okay.
Third one is products and services. So if you have ebooks, if you have workbooks, if you have workshops, if you have courses, masterclasses, webinars, anything like that to basically get people to actually buy once you get them into the funnel.
Right.
That was 3. 4 is building a community. Do you have a community where people want to get maybe extra access to your podcast? Maybe you have an offer as far as Stack and Scale where you can literally teach people how you can make money, also build a mindset, and also how they can scale your business. What does that look like?
Right.
You can literally put a paywall of $47 maybe even $97 a month for people to get extra access to you. They maybe even get extra access as far as like behind the scenes of like the podcast, maybe even a stream as well. It just depends.
Yeah.
And then the last one is affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is one of the oldest tricks in the books, but a lot of people, I think where they fail at is that they need to get affiliate marketing that is associated with your brand. Right. So even with you, right? I can refer you to a business funding company, right? Where you can basically have an affiliate link to where if they watch this episode and they click on it, and then if they want to sign up for business funding, you get a percentage of that.
Nice. So you don't have to solely rely on, being monetized by YouTube.
No. For the amount of money I've made through podcasting, up to this day, I probably make only $50 to maybe $75 a month off of YouTube.
Wow.
And we're not even talking about sponsorships and brand deals and all that. That's a whole other game too. Yeah. But a lot of people, they really mess up on like their brand and also their podcast for chasing the brand deals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you can get the brand deals, that shit will be fire. Don't get it twisted. It'll be great. You can definitely make a lot of money, but it's hard to get it at first.
Yeah.
And also at times with brand deals, depending on what you get, depending on what it is, if you're getting maybe a brand deal on a monthly basis, great. But most of them is a one-time thing.
One-time thing.
Yeah.
How are you able to secure those month-to-months brand deals?
That's a Jazz Marie question. Not
Jazz.
Shout out to Jazz.
Yeah, I love Jazz.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. I don't really. Yeah, I mean, how do you? I guess presenting it maybe as far as how do you present it, not necessarily as a one-time thing, but as a sort of value of like them actually locking in for maybe 10 or maybe 12 episodes. I think that's the answer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you mentioned that you've been doing your podcast for 8 years. So you actually got on this podcast train even before it got hot.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to say it got really hot in about 2020 when
2020 for sure.
We're stuck in our homes. Mm-hmm, you know what I mean? So everyone's watching content online.
Yeah, but I've only monetized my podcast and my brand, honestly, only 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like those 6 years, bro, I was out here just shooting in the dark, trying to fucking figure shit out.
Yeah. You've had some, I know a lot of your networking came from, you said, you working at, in the clubs and stuff like that and meeting people that way. But you've had like some really good guests on your podcast. Yeah. One of my favorite is Mr. Organic.
Shout out to Mr. Organic. Yes, sir.
We love Mr. Organic over here, man. Yeah. He's super funny, but he gives a lot of value, which is why I like him a lot. How were you able to secure that collab?
Oh, so what I would say is that there needs to be an exchange of value that you have to be able to already set up and also already curate for that person that you want to be able to collab with.
Right.
So with him particularly, him just moving to Miami, he knows like my concierge company and also like my media company. I was able to really understand him and as far as like what he needed and then present what he needed. The problem is that a lot of y'all dudes, a lot of y'all people, y'all want to go and literally connect and also collab with these high-end people, these celebrities, but then you want them to figure out how you provide value to them.
Yeah. Like
how the hell does that even make any sense?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like for me, I didn't go out to Mr. Organic and be like, hey, how can I provide value for you? How can I provide value to you? He gonna look at me like I'm freaking crazy. He's like, yo, dog, what? You want me to do you, not necessarily a favor, like a favor, right?
And then
you know what I'm
another
saying?
favor.
And then another favor on top of that,
Yeah,
bro. Get the
facts.
fuck out of here. Like
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing for you. But like I saw what he needed. I did the research as far as like how can I provide value to him, and I presented that to him as far as like bringing in guests on his podcast, giving him game and also just insight just from a different lens of how I can actually build his brand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And also building that relationship with him in the gym as well, in Boxer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I never really asked outright, hey man, I want you to do a podcast. You know what I'm saying? No. I like analyzed him. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me see what I can do for him. You know what I'm saying? And also here's another trick too. And this is the secret to networking, is literally doing stuff and not respecting anything in return.
Yeah.
Because I really believe that the universe is going to bite you in the ass if you're just doing shit just to literally get something out of it.
Yeah. I've learned that for a few people. Fresh, Walter, was one of the main people I learned that from, was, always offering value, first and not expecting nothing in return. You give, and then eventually, but a lot of people, they want to give something back to you in return, but you do it from a genuine, no pun intended, organic standpoint.
Yeah.
And they actually, want to do something for you in exchange.
And then also too, he saw the value within me as well.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely got motion out here too. So he understood too, like obviously he has way more motion and way more value than I have, but he saw just a little bit of value that I have in order to build. But then after that, bro, it's just the everything lately, it was up. Yeah. Like our relationship that we have, man, as far as like from a business standpoint, is immaculate. I always try to help out that brother.
Yeah. I want to ask you this on camera. We talked about it off camera on the stream earlier. You seeing my podcast, you seeing, we doing the interview with Cedric, and you seeing we're in Hidden Studios. We had a few mutual friends, etc. What made you look at this podcast and say, I want to be a part of this. I want to get on there.
So
like, what value did you see?
What I've always thought, what I always say, right, when it comes to just networking, but also as far as with me in particular, with my media company, I'm always looking for new podcasts to basically partner up with, to send my clients to you, vice versa, right? And the three things, I'll say this. The one thing that I look for is relatability, and also like just in familiarity, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I saw that was one relatable moment between as far as like cohesiveness. Okay, great. You at one of the best studios here in Brickell, you with JC. So I'm like, okay, podcast got to be something, if that makes sense. Yeah. Then after that, I connected with Esteban. We had a conversation one-on-one, and I found out he's a fellow Panther. It's lit. It's up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So collaboration is very, very important, but there needs to be some type of level and some type of connection or relatability for things to actually make sense. Yeah. Because if you have those stages of relatability, you're not going to worry about the transactions at first. You're not going to worry about like, okay, what am I going to get out of it, or what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be organic. But no pun intended. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you just worry about like the relationships, not the transactions, but how you worry about the relationships. Like, how can I literally relationships? What's in the word of relationships? Relatability.
Yeah, exactly.
So once you're able to do that, bro, you on.
Sky's the limit. Yeah. As far as someone starting a podcast, obviously, I just started my podcast. Yeah. What are some things, number one, to avoid? And then two, what are a lot of podcasters doing? You kind of mentioned it a little bit, that's holding them back from getting the success that they really want. Is it the value? Is it the consistency? So it really, at the end of the day, as cliche as it sounds, is really consistency at the end of the day. And also just really understanding what your podcast should be about, and really honing in on like that one message as far as like what you want your podcast to be known for. Yeah. People just be having conversations. Yeah. And then when you don't necessarily have like a focus as far as like what you want the podcast to be on, then you're wondering why you can't make money. You're wondering why the podcast is not hitting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if you have a target right there, right? And then you literally are blind, how can you hit the target when you're blind? You can be out here shooting everywhere and stuff like that, right? Yeah. But if you take off the blind and you see the target, right? You focus on that target, you most likely are going to hit the target more than once. Exactly. So that's the same thing with just building brands, with just building visibility, and also building podcasts. And just understanding it's about the journey, bro. If you out here just trying to make money
right away, it's not going to happen. And also podcasters, and I think this is anything, but podcasters in particular, they don't have systems. They have no level of systems for them to, vet the guests. One thing I really love about you is that like you understand like how you can like review and also research the guests. Yeah. That's very, very important. A lot of these podcasts out here is just like, yeah, man, come to the podcast or whatever. And you out here, you just shooting in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, like you don't know anything about me? Yeah. Like what?
Do a little bit of research.
That's crazy. Yeah, exactly. You out here 3 minutes before the freaking podcast. Okay, cool. Abdul. Like, no, bro, take some time beforehand as far as like to get to know about me. So I really appreciate you about that because you're one of the only podcast hosts that I've ever seen that actually does a better job researching than me. Like you put me on game with some stuff. Like, all right, cool. I'm definitely gonna use the AI tool to see what I can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't give him the sauce. But
no. We're gonna keep that in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I already said enough. Yeah. So that's definitely something that people definitely need to work on with their pod.
Yeah, that's one thing that when people told me I need to have a podcast, because I'm a conversationalist. I like to have conversations with people, and I like to learn, so I ask a lot of questions. People's like, "Yo, you need to do a podcast." I'm like, "What is my podcast going to be about? What the fuck am I going to talk about?" Yeah. Because I'm like, I want to offer value again to the listener. I want to be able to offer something they say, I watch your podcast. I was able to get in better shape. I was able to make more money. I was able to, I wanted to hurt myself and I heard something and I decided not to do that. You know what I mean?
But here's the beautiful thing, bro, that a lot of people don't do. You're doing. I've always said within my academy and my media company, you always have to be present or trying to be imperfect. Yes, have a plan. Yes, have a system, but don't let those things stop you from actually making content. Yeah. Because when you're making content, you're actually figuring out what you're trying to do in the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even if you don't have and this is where people mess up, man. They're like, oh my God, I got to make sure the podcast is good. I got to make sure that the cameras is right, the lights. I got to make sure everything blah, 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 blah. No, man. Start the podcast. Just post that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Post it, bro.
Yeah.
And then you going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Here's another thing. The audience is going to see it is not going to know whether or not you got it perfect or not.
Nah, they're not.
They're not going to know.
No.
So if they don't know, then why are you worried about it?
Yeah.
Real talk. Like, why are you worried about it if that makes sense?
Yeah. You just need to start. Like, that was one thing I was like, yo, I'm going to just fucking start this shit.
Yes.
Even when it came to just regular content. Because it's very difficult to listen to myself speak back on the cam. It's like, I think people who, let me not say that. For me, it's a little weird to listen to myself speak.
I got over that. I got over that. Over 8 years, I've gone over that.
Yeah, like sometimes, like the last few, I've watched it because I needed to watch it. But sometimes I don't. But what I do is I rely on my guy Nas. Yo, Nas, what can I get better at? Like some people tell me like, yo, I like the podcast, this happened, whatever. I don't give a fuck about none of that. What did I do wrong? Like he'll tell me, yo, be better with asking questions. Make sure you're looking at them a little bit more.
I'll tell you like some critiques after the pod.
Yeah,
I got you.
I like that way more because some people, I think they're afraid to offend me or to offend people in general, not even just myself.
Bro, if you're afraid to offend people, then you can't be in business. You can't be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you might as well live under the rock.
Yeah, it's been times like we were in the middle of an interview one time and I was kind of like this and I looked up at Nas, he's like,
yeah.
I was like, all right, man, hold on, my bad. Like, I'm slouching. He's
and
like,
this beautiful thing, man, you got a whole team, bro. Bro, listen, man, it was just me 8 years ago.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? You really got a solid squad, man, to really get this shit done.
Yeah. I appreciate that because, again, that was another thing I wanted to do was make sure I'm prepared to some degree, on the guest. Of course. You've said it, Van said it. Shout out to Van. He's like, yo, how the fuck did you know that about me? I'm like, listen, it didn't take me a long time to find out the information, but I took the necessary steps to find out some information
the simple fact that you're taking the necessary steps, where a lot of people don't. They just be free. They just be free balling shit, dog.
Yeah, just be freestyling.
Yeah, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, like what? I could have charged you for this, dog. I should be here. I should be getting paid if you out here. You know what I'm saying? As far as with my brand and stuff. Yeah. And then like I give you. That's like me interviewing Organic and not knowing anything about him, bro.
That's disrespectful.
Bro, what?
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, facts.
So, yo, why the fuck am I in this building right now? You know what I mean? As far as any other value you would like to give to the viewers, whether it's word of advice or anything like that, what should people know about Bishop?
Man, I'm a person that is a vessel. I'm a person that is for the people. It's been a long journey. I'm 39 right now. I'm just getting started. For people who want to start their brand, start their podcast, whatever it is, just remember at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares, bro. As much as you think that they actually care.
Yeah. You're not that important.
No, you're not.
You're not that important.
And this everybody. I'm talking about from the most famous person to the least famous person in the world. Nobody cares. And if they do care, they're not gonna care forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only person that actually cares as much is you.
Yeah.
And since you care that damn much, you're actually holding yourself back.
Yeah.
And then another thing I will also say too is at the end of the day, when there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. Like you said, just start it. That was my biggest thing. I was like, yo, I'm gonna start the shit and I'm gonna be consistent. Again, one thing I've said it a few times before, one thing that keeps me grounded is hearing about the Thomas Edison story about the fact that, you know, he tried 1,000 times to create this light bulb and couldn't figure it out. And he just tried one more fucking time. And then now we have lights.
The beautiful thing is that and I think there's a reason why too, I have such loyal people on my side, like all my business partners, all my mentors and all that. It's not about making mistakes. It's not about messing stuff up. It's about never giving up. Yeah. The only time I'm gonna give up is when I'm 6 feet under in the coffin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. As long as I wake up, I still got a chance.
That's it.
That's my biggest thing that I've
That's it. I don't give a damn if you have 2 legs, no legs, this and that. As long as you breathe in, you have a chance at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. This is a great fucking episode.
I appreciate it.
Let me ask one last thing. Number one, where can they find you?
Okay.
And then secondly, what do you have coming up for us? What do we need to be on the lookout for?
Oh boy. Okay. So you can find me at Marvel Bishop on all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, etc. Only the Best Academy as well on school, SKOOL. I'll give you all the links as well too.
I'm signing up.
I have a free version as well. Pay version as well if you want to spend some money, you know what I'm saying? But you know, that's up to you. Now I have 109 members. Hopefully I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully I'll have
all the people in the studio.
Hopefully I have 112 members by the end of this night, you know what I mean? But what's next, man? My media tour that I'm doing with Brendan, his media tour, podcast, the Cash Tour. We're actually going to LA July 25th for our podcast tour, giving people a place and also opportunity to be able to speak and also their offer as well in front of an audience. I have my live podcast where I give 3 to 4 entrepreneurs a chance to be able to have thoughtful and provoking conversations and be able to edify and also build their authority. And then, okay, well, I can't share that, but I could probably I could share this. I am actually going to be starting a network.
Okay.
Yeah. So Only the Best Network, going to be basically transitioning all my shows that I have. I got 3 shows in the tuck right now.
Nice.
And yeah, just building a network with that. And I have events too. My Only the Best for Her event. Also building women entrepreneurs within Miami. The next one's going to be August 13th. I will send a link for that.
Yeah. We will be in the building for
yes,
that.
Sir.
I will be there for
yes,
that
sir.
one.
Yes, sir. We're aiming for 100 people to get there. So yeah, bro, that's it, man. Just out here, just building and just trying to be a man of value.
Absolutely, man. You definitely offer some, added some value to my life.
Appreciate it, dog.
And to the podcast for sure. I appreciate you for bringing Jazz on again.
All
she
day.
was a fucking delight. Jazz is cool as fuck, man. We got to get her back over here to Miami for sure. Hey, another great fucking episode. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you found value in this episode. And I will see you on the next one. We out.